show, we've got comedian Ryan Talmo. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Dude, I'm so excited I found you. I think through Max, through the Dice Man.
Yes,
That,
yes. Max
I
is
love,
he's a good cat.
yes, I like the band Still Rebel. Love the kids are awesome. It's really
Hmm.
neat when you see creative people make cool kids.
Oh yeah. No, he's a good guy. He's really funny too. So I have him lined up to do one of my shows in January. I know it's down the road, but I've been trying to book him on a lot more stuff, but he's been busy. So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I get
no,
it. It's hard coming from a lot of money. You got a lot of things to do. I'm just
I know he's always busy.
I
Yeah.
get it. I got a lot of weed to smoke sometimes, and people to try to fuck that are in bands. So it's your birthday this week. Happy birthday
Yeah.
week at the end of the week.
Thank
Do
you.
you have any plans for your birthday this weekend?
Absolutely not. I took the day off from work, so I am doing nothing. I'm just be laying around the house, um, waiting to do something. I don't know. I don't know. I'm old now, so I don't
You
have
get
the.
it.
I mean, I feel weird. I'm going to be 43, but my body feels like I'm 70, and then I
Same.
have the mindset of like a 20-year-old. So like
Same.
it's weird. So I can't really hang like I used to. And like, I don't know, like, I wanna do something, but I have kids in my life now, so everything kinda, like, just I don't know. I'm just very uneventful now. I mean, comedy is kinda like my thing of to get out of the house, so
I totally vibe with you. This podcast is like my little escape because I'm a busy working single mom of two kids. And so I
mhm.
celebrate their birthdays big. I like to do big shit. But when it comes time for mine, I'm so fucking tired and old. And I've done the
Oh, yeah.
big ones in LA years ago that now I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to have a bottle of wine with my neighbors and probably go to bed at like 9 p.m. That's my
That
birthday.
will probably be me on Saturday. I mean, last night, I ran 2 of my shows. I had 2 shows going at the same time, and, I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna stay out till 2 tonight." So I was running one
Whoa.
show in North Hollywood, and I was running my other one in Tarzana, and, yeah, I got home around like 1:30, 1:45, and then I woke up this morning, had to take the kids to school, and I feel like garbage. I feel like absolute garbage, which is funny. Like 10
How
years
do you
ago, I
do
can
it?
do this. I don't know how I'm doing it right now. I can't keep up.
Right?
So I
So
had like
I
a
bartend and my bartend late shift is 10 p.m. It's a restaurant bar. And I
yeah.
literally when I get home at 11 p.m. I'm exhausted. I like taking the day shifts now for work because I can't hang at night. And I used to get off at 2 a.m. and get home at 2:45 in the morning and be a vampire and wake up, the next day. And now I
Mhm.
can't even imagine the old lifestyle that I lived.
Oh yeah, I was the same way. I used to work at a deli, and I would do gigs in Hollywood or East Hollywood or the West Side, and I'll be out till 2, 3, 4 in the morning sometimes. And then I didn't have a car, so I would take the metro back to the valley, and I would have to be at work at 8 in the morning. And I got up, everything, I was functional, and I just like recycled. I did the same thing. I was out all night. But I had no kids in my life at the time. Now I have 5.
100%.
So
5?
I have 5 kids.
Congrats. I have two
Thank
and
you.
I think I'm fucking overwhelmed. How the fuck do you have five?
Well, my wife, she has 4 from a previous, so I adopted them when we started dating, and then we created our own, I guess. So,
You're
but
so nice.
I'm their dad, so I'm pretty
No, that's
much
amazing.
I brought them into
Kudos.
my world and my house, and yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, 10 years ago, I had none of that. So it's crazy.
I'm trying to create a kid with Tim Dillon. That's like the goal right now.
That's
Is that crazy?
that's different.
It's it's a mission. It might be 2026 though that the mission closes
Hey,
out. We'll see.
you can make that happen.
Third baby daddy.
You're
That's
getting
hopes and
a Tim
dreams.
Dallin, hello, Tim Dillon kid.
Yeah. But
That'll be
he's
interesting.
gay. That's the problem.
That well, no, not completely. I mean, there are some gay men out there that are willing to swing the other way if they
Yeah,
have
and I
enough to drink.
peg, so
There
that's
you go.
yeah. Yeah.
If
We'll
you're into
see.
that,
I'm rolling the dice. But that's odd. You're a good guy. You stepped up, you stepped in to take care
yeah.
of, someone else's kids and then created your own. I think that's really cool. Okay, I want to know, when did you get started in comedy? When were you like, okay, I want to do this?
See here. We're in 2025 right now. So 2010, 2009, 2010. I moved to LA from San Diego. Long story short, I was into the whole corporate life, and I did theater and film in high school and college. And I fell into the whole corporate life. I worked at a restaurant. I was a general manager at a restaurant, and I was running a few of them when I moved to LA after a bad breakup. And then when the company collapsed, they let me go. I just want to get off the grid, and I want to dive back into what I enjoyed doing, and that was film and theater. And then I think there's a night where I was at one of the bars out here, and there was an open mic, and I just signed up. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be doing this. And then I just caught the bug, and was doing open mics. And then a year in, I started producing my own stuff because I realized how cutthroat the whole comedy community is, just like anything else. And I was like, okay, you guys have to start doing your own shows. So I started producing stuff and creating things from my experience of working in film and theater.
It is a lot of who you know. And even though I'm only in radio, I think all of these sectors work in similar ways. A
Yeah.
lot of these people, they just align the same way, maybe politically or the way they think. So they'll get a job that somebody else is better qualified for, if that makes
Hmm.
sense. And
Yes.
it is who you know, you know? And then I've gotten my foot in the door because I've been a female for
Yeah.
sure. So I'll be the first to admit too, it's just kind of also how you're typecasted, who you get to know, like being available, just literally, are you fucking available to show up
Oh,
or
yeah.
you'll take a pay cut maybe in what you'll do.
Oh, absolutely. And that
Yeah.
was with comedy. I was doing open mics. No one would book me. And if the shows where I was doing, nobody would put me up. If I did come to the show, I had to bring people, the whole bringer system. They do it in bands, they do it in comedy.
Yeah.
And when I started out here, I had nobody. I didn't know a soul in Los Angeles besides
Wow.
some immediate family that I had. And what you call it. So I started creating my own shows, which I developed this whole community around me in the San Fernando Valley now. So that's how I know. I literally know like about 3/4 of the scene in Los Angeles of just the shows I run.
You're very well known. When I said you were coming on my show and I used to live in LA, my inbox flooded with, I like him, I know him, all positive things about
Wow.
you. And yeah, so it was really cute. Like there was literally
Yeah.
nine people saying they really appreciated you. And I was like, oh cool, I'm even more excited. And I love to have comedians by. You guys go with the flow a lot better, you know, or easier
Hmm.
to interview than rock stars sometimes when they're like hungover and you're asking them about their own project and they act like they don't know about what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I want to know, so I think it'd be terrifying to be a comedian, to say,
Hmm.
I'm going to get up on a stage with a mic and I'm going to be funny for a long period of time. How do you get over that fright or keep the jokes going and not get, I don't know, kind of like pressure of the job?
Um, Honestly, the first few years, I was scared shitless. I didn't know what to talk about. I didn't know what my jokes were. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I just enjoyed just getting up, but I was bombing a lot, and I did get nervous a lot, especially when I was performing in front of people that I idolize. And then I guess I got to say, like 7 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer, and so I was going through chemo and still performing, and that's where it hit me. Where like none of this matters anymore. And
Yeah.
so I kind of just taken that along with me for the last 7 years. So now I'm just getting up and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to do my thing. This is what I find funny. If you guys don't find it funny, then cool. So
I
I
love that.
kind
I
of,
think we all get to a certain I don't give a fuck. And that's
yeah,
your best point of life. And congratulations for, I mean, survive. It's in
thank
remission,
you.
right? Right
Yes,
now.
been in remission for 7 years. Actually, next week will be 7 years officially.
And I saw
Isn't that
it was in
crazy?
your neck or where, what
In my
kind of
neck, I
cancer?
had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma stage 3. I should be literally dead. And then I actually had it in my neck. Also, I had it in my groin and in my armpits too. So all my lymph nodes are like swollen. And what you call it? My doctor told me I have a whole bit on it on stage, but my doctor told me that if um, I should freeze my sperm because I'll probably never have a kid because of the chemo I was taking was just basically going to knock out everything. And so when I started dating my wife, she already has 4 kids, and I told her like, hey, like you know what, we can raw dog it because I don't think we'll ever have a kid.
Yeah.
And now my kid's turning 5. So like today she turned 5. So the
She's a
saying is that
strong sperm. She's a strong swimmer and made it through
yes,
the
she
chemo
is.
radiation.
It's
Yeah.
wild. It's crazy. So
That's so
it's like
cool.
she's my little miracle baby. But again, like with the going through cancer, like it shifted everything for me just not caring, like loving what I do, but not caring what people think.
Yeah.
So it changes everything. It changes your material. It changes your approach. And then you get off stage, you feel confident about yourself, and you're not going to beat yourself over because no one was laughing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. Comedy is hard. Making a room full of people laugh is hard. So because
100%. We're all so different, like how we
yes,
grew up and what we find funny. I remember I'd laugh so hard in my teens and 20s when I went to comedy clubs. And in my 40s, it's a lot harder to make me laugh. It's not the
yeah,
comedian. I've been jaded maybe, or I've heard some things. And so
mhm,
if I belly roll, I'm for real. Like it takes a second.
yeah.
And that's great. Like, I'm sorry you had to go through such a hard time, but that it's also really cool the way you appreciate things when you come out on top of it
Oh
after
yeah.
it. Do you have to get checked up kind of often to be on top of it, or
Yeah, the first year or two, it was like a checkup every 6 months, and now I'm like in year seven, pretty much. So I'm kind of like, it's not coming back, quote unquote. But the whole process, basically, with the chemo is it opens up doors to other cancers in my life later. So
because it
that's
kills cells, like your good cells too, right? Like not
it
just the
kills
bad guys.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll find out later in my life of what's going to happen to me.
That's
Um,
exciting. Oh, won't
it's
we all?
great,
You know,
but
I have some
that's the
addictions. I
yeah.
might find out later what happened from those addictions in my 20s. So,
It'll hatch, it'll reopen later in life.
yeah,
But like, yeah, I mean, who knows with me? I know heart disease is gonna be a thing for me later. So thanks to
yeah.
the chemo I took. But that's the gamble of doing chemo. That's why a lot of people don't want to go through that because they know that later in life they're gonna have other difficulties to deal with. And for me, I mean, that's the biggest gamble. I have a daughter now. So who saw that coming? If I said no to the chemo and just want to go through the whole process, I'll never brought life into this world.
And like being a parent, I can speak for myself, is the coolest thing I've ever done. I don't care how
Oh,
many rock stars I've interviewed. Being a mom is the funnest, best, most rewarding experience in my life.
I love it. Honestly, it's exhausting. I have toys
Yeah.
all around this house now, but it is honestly the best thing ever. And I never ever thought I'd be a dad, which changed my comedy as well. So,
Yeah. Changes your whole perspective on life.
oh
Like,
yeah.
I didn't want to have kids. I was in my friend group saying, I'm not going to have kids. I'm the wild child jumping on buses, tour buses with bands. And then finally, later in life, I was like, just kidding. I do want to have kids. And everyone was shocked because I was so free, wild child. And now I'm like, I absolutely adore it. I'm healthier. I'm a better version of
Hmm.
myself being a mom.
Hmm.
So, okay, I have a random question, and you
Yeah.
don't have to answer this. But if you're on chemo, can you still get a boner?
Yes.
Okay. So it doesn't
Actually,
affect your sex life that much?
no, no. My wife and I had a lot of sex during we met during my journey, and yeah, we hooked up uh, pretty much after my ninth treatment, and so I was just chock full of chemo in my body, and yeah, my sex life
You were
was
like,
was
"Hey,
great.
I'm dying. Do you want to fuck?" And she was like, "Yeah."
Exactly, you just don't care anymore, and I was actually taking medication that was helping my nausea, which will make you horny too. So that was
Whoa,
weird.
I'm so
Yeah,
fascinated. So it's medication so you don't throw up is like
yeah.
making you want to bang.
Yeah, it's weird. So, like,
Damn.
it would actually help my nausea really well, and, but it also made me horny as fuck too,
Yeah.
and, wish I could have that medicine still, but, um,
Dude, I'm
that's
always
because
horny. That's my problem. Like I'll be like, "Damn, that 4 looks pretty good at the bar." And I have to sit this one out. I'm getting better as I get older though, of like just stay home or go home. But that's been my biggest addiction my whole life, for sure.
is sex addiction.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's not a bad addiction.
It's not.
That's the best addiction actually of all
No,
addictions.
not when you're waiting on the HIV tests in LA in the
Okay,
room
well,
for
never
all the
mind. Take that back. Take that back. My bad. My bad.
I went off the rails, but I've been very vocal about it, and I've been to recovery and stuff, so I'm in a good place now. But it is not safe when you go in group activities in Hollywood where there's a lot of things going on, you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
It's,
Oh, this town? Oh, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm back up
Everyone has
home
a
in
little
Sac.
story.
No, I know. It was, I can't do LA. I love LA. I like to
Mhm.
visit. I cannot live there because it's too much fun.
Really, I find it. So I'm born and raised in San Diego, and I find San Diego slow as fuck. It's very
Mm-hmm.
slow. I mean, it's a great place to raise a family, but it's boring. Very boring. I don't like it. I moved up to LA. I like the fast pace. I don't find it. It's
Mm.
funny. I don't go out. I go out to the bars and do my shows, but that's it.
You're not a chick
Um,
with fake tits. LA's
no,
fine for you.
well, that's
I got
true.
fake tits when I was in my prime 20 years ago. I was getting in every mansion, because I could
Yeah,
blow everybody. And so
yeah.
it was too much trouble. There's free drugs and sex everywhere. And so it's just not good if you're a chick with half a brain cell that's like a 6.5 and up. Oh, you're done.
That's true. And you look at
Yeah.
me, nah, not so much. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just be hanging out at the Applebees in Winnetka probably. So, which I was. When I first moved out here, I was at Applebees every day. So, because I
Yeah.
had 3 all years.
I
Now
like
look at me.
Applebee's. I'm more of a Chili's girl though. Like I like Chili's a lot.
Well, Chili's is actually the place to go now. So me and another guy, we write screenplays together. We meet at Chili's. It's cheap. We have a few beers, and then we kind of spitball some ideas. And you're not breaking the bank, I gotta say, and not being at Star. There's
Yes.
something worse than writing a screenplay at a Starbucks or a coffee shop, and you're just all caffeinated and you feel like shit. I don't know. There's something better than having a few Coors Lights and watching baseball and trying to figure out how to make this weird biopic film that you want to write. I don't know. It's just that's my life now. I'm doing so
I
many
do
different things.
miss meeting writers and like creative people. Like in Sacramento, you don't go out. Art's pretty big here. We have a nice big art museum. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of like artists, but not writers and directors. And I really love the brains of just. I've dated a couple writers and directors, and how phenomenally it works. And they'll just get
Yeah.
stoned and like go for days. You're just like, that's neat. I don't know. I do you ever go to the Rainbow Bar was my home kind of deal.
I used to do a show there. Um,
Nice.
there was this comic slash BMX writer. I don't know if you heard of him before, Rick Thorne. Have you heard of Rick Thorne?
I don't think so.
He does like X Games stuff and all that kind of stuff. He used to be a big
Yeah.
BMX biker guy in the late '90s, early 2000s. He's one of
I
the
might have had sex
founders.
with him, but it doesn't ring a
You
bell.
might have. You might have.
I might have.
He's a big fan, or he's good friends with what's his name? The can't even think. It's so early in the morning for me. Uh, ba, 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 ba. The lead singer from NoFX. You
I
should know
don't
this.
know. I thought you were gonna say CKY though, or something that are into X Games too and Jackass stuff.
Oh, he knows all
Um,
those guys.
yeah, but
Fat
he
Mike
probably
or
kicks.
Big? Is it Fat Mike or Fat Mike?
I never interviewed NoFX. I wish I
Okay.
did, but I've had like Alien Ant Farm and CKY are big X Game bands that I've had on a lot, and they're
Yeah.
just super into skate culture and stuff like that. And I try to skate still, but I just fall and eat shit.
Oh, same. I was a
But
skater when I
you
was.
hosted something with them at the
Well,
Rainbow.
he hosted the show at the Rainbow. Rick did, and then he always put me up, and so I hung out with a bunch of guys from NoFX, and then a bunch of cats from the Jackass crew, and Tony Hawk, and that whole little crew. And I was like a total nerd with that whole thing. So yeah, I hung out at the
Yeah.
Rainbow a few times for comedy. And then I have a friend right now. She does the promotion stuff for the Rainbow, so she's been talking to me about maybe bringing a show back over there. But I'm running too many shows now, so I'm
It
tired.
sounds like it. What is this Blockbuster? I grew up with Blockbuster being Friday nights, and I got my
Oh,
soda
the
and my popcorn
Blockbuster?
and my movie. Yeah, what is
Yeah.
this?
So my show or the free Blockbuster, the whole concept.
Both. Yeah.
The free Blockbuster concept is kind of like the free libraries that you see in people's yards where they have books and stuff like that. And you grab a book, but it's with DVDs, VHSs. It's all nostalgic value, so you can donate your movies and people can go pick up a movie. The whole idea is to keep physical media alive.
Yeah.
And I'm a big movie collector. I have like thousands of DVDs in my house, and I,
Autism right there.
it's my ADHD for sure. And
Yeah.
I
My mom
actually,
took Tylenol.
oh my god, oh I know. Thank you, RFK.
Yeah.
Uh, but I know I did take a lot of Tylenol as a kid, so probably. I take all my movies and I'll put in alphabetical order or I put in director's order. I do that shit. So it makes my wife go crazy.
That's
But
funny. I
it's
fuck a lot of guys that do shit like that, that collect things and put
it's
things in
fun.
order.
It's my kids hate it. So
I
I
like
have all the
nerds
shit.
that listen to Weird Al and like
Um,
like action figures. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of my jam nowadays.
So that's the whole concept of free Blockbuster. So you can the idea is to turn like newspaper stands into the newspaper boxes into like a little free Blockbuster kiosk. And so I developed a comedy show around it where it's the free Blockbuster comedy show. And everyone that I book, which Max is doing it in January, is everyone on the show works in the industry some way, somehow. So
That's
they could be a
cool.
writer, a director, an actor, whatever the case is. They have to be in the industry, and then they go up and they just pretty much talk about their life working in the industry. So it's kind of like a storytelling show a little bit, but it's just very. I like it because it kind of brings these people together that they all have day jobs. They probably work at a restaurant or work at some office, trying to make ends meet, but they also are chasing their dreams at the same time, which this is LA, and that's what everyone's doing. Not everyone is famous out here, but they're all working trying to be famous. So
Yeah. I remember people thought I made it. I was on Playboy Radio for a year and I was
mhm.
stripping at Crazy Girls, to pay the bills.
Yeah, yeah.
So I wasn't making money in radio. I was like taking my clothes off, but I didn't tell anyone. It was like top secret. And now I talk about it all the time, like years later. But I remember being like, damn, everyone's like, can I get your autograph? Because you're on XM radio. But I'm
Mhm.
actually taking my top off later that night to get in that nice condo. So it happens.
You have to make ends meet. Honestly, like I wanted to be again when I was at like in high school and college, I wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to direct
I
movies.
thought you were going to say a stripper too. I was like,
No,
what?
I don't have the body for that. Uh,
Twins.
and then when I moved out here, this is true, is that I actually did work at Penthouse Studios for a hot minute.
Nice.
And I had a buddy in college that moved out here, and he got an editing job. So he worked edit some of the films for Penthouse, and he got me in there. And so I worked on two projects, and then pretty much kind of like, okay, this is not for me. And then I kind of started working at the deli right after that. So this is right in between my corporate job and then me working at the deli. Worked for Penthouse for a hot minute as a editor in the San
That's cool.
Fernando
When
Valley.
deli, like Jeffrey Dahmer status, cutting up meat or what?
Slicing meat, son of slicer. Yep,
Dude, you're a
very.
serial killer.
And in the Italian deli, yeah, or I'd be like Bob Saget, which is Bob Saget worked at a deli too. But yeah, sounds like a serial killer more than anything else. It was actually 10 years of that, and I made barely any money, but I picked that job because I had to come in at 9 and I was clocking out at 5. And so I
Yeah.
had the whole night to do comedy. I had no kids, I had no nothing. I had made just enough money to pay my rent, but I had no car. Um, I had nothing really. I had no insurance. I had nothing. I was like off the grid.
Me
So
too. In
that
LA,
was,
I was on Craigslist to find roommates and I would move every 3 or 4 months because I was such a shitty roommate or like I just wanted to keep moving. And I lived on the floor one time with no bed, just a sleeping
mhm,
bag. I rented a couch in Malibu. I mean, like, yeah, same, no health insurance, no car insurance.
yeah.
I lived in my car for a couple weeks because it was in between apartments. And I just look back now that I'm a mom with a house and kids, like, how the fuck did I do that? Like, what the
I
fuck?
feel the same way. I mean, I right now having 5 kids, there's no way in hell I could fucking
Yeah.
afford that. So
Yeah.
crazy.
No, I have to work. And like, I love bartending because the tips are so good. So it's hard once you enter a tipping industry and you understand how much money you can make. And I'm not
Mhm.
like a cubicle person. I tried in LA a PR firm for a year and I wanted to kill myself. I felt like I was in office space staring out of a window and not moving and not, I kind of need people and I need to have social interaction for the day to go by for me,
Yeah.
but it's not for everybody.
No, it's
Um,
not.
Okay, I want to know because you're a cancer survivor.
Mhm.
How do you stay positive? What's your advice to staying upbeat?
Stay positive. I don't know. Like I was actually no, I take that back. Before I was diagnosed, I was actually very miserable. Um, very, very kind of funny like that. When I was sick, um, the day I got diagnosed, my mom and dad came with me to the hospital, and my dad wrote down. I kind of keep it with me now. Is he put down 80/20? He said 80% of this will be in your head. The 20% will be the medication. And so if I stay positive going through that journey, I'll be fine because it's all mental. And I kind of keep that for the last 7 years. So like anything that's going on, it's just like 80%. Like I can, if I'm staying positive, everything will be fine around me. Does that make sense? I don't know how to
No,
explain it,
I
but like,
agree. I think our mental state plays a huge role on how our physical state is affected. I like to be delusional. Do you ever like just get into a delusional mindset or no?
I used to. I'm again before I was sick. I would have this whole like this fantasies I would just build around me, kind of like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna, but like I don't know. I'm very hands on. I need to physically build it and not fantasize about it. So that's like with the whole free blockbuster thing is that during COVID, I saw an article about these people building these free blockbusters, and I told my wife we're doing it. And we're doing
Yeah.
it. And so we went to Home Depot, bought a bunch of spray paint, drove around the valley, found a newspaper box, and we spray painted and we built it overnight. And that to me is like you're keeping yourself busy, but also staying positive of doing something. I don't know. It's kind of like I'm not explaining it. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm repeating myself. I'm sorry.
No, I no, I get it. What you're saying is you have an idea and you're like, I'm gonna make this idea a reality and kind of having something to look forward to
Yeah.
do all of it and not just going, oh, mundane, it's the same shit. No, I agree, I agree.
It's like with
Um,
the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, oh, I was just curious because I know you're a dad and I'm a mom. How do you think is it okay to make jokes about your children and do you at all, or is that like an off limits?
Um, I have, but I I feel like it's kind of like off limits with my kids in a way. I've talked about it a few times on stage. I get a few laughs, but then I kind of like look back at it. And I'm like, if I ever get this recorded and then my kids watch it, I don't know. It's kind of like I need their approval in a way. I don't want them to be adults and finding my material as I'm talking shit about them. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? So it's
yeah.
just kind of I have like my album right now. I have one album online and I get pretty graphic in it. I talked about me working in porn. I talk about me um like to eat ass and all that kind of shit.
I do
And
too. That's
it's
it's
a great
healthy.
thing. There's nothing wrong about that.
It means you
And
love them. You really love them.
but I don't want my daughter to find that like when she's like 15, 16 years old and she's like, "Oh my god, dad
See,
eats
I've
ass."
come full circle because so when I was in radio, it wasn't recorded back in the day, right? Like it just
Mhm.
doesn't exist. And so I in 2020, a lot of people wanted me to start a podcast, and I said no. I made fun of everyone having a podcast because everyone had one, and I was like,
Mhm.
I'm not going to do it. 4 years later, look what happened in 2024. I started one, but I knew if I started one, I wanted to be authentic. I knew why my friends wanted me to start it is I'm a fucking weirdo. So I
Mhm.
don't, as much as I didn't want my kids to hear about my past in LA and stuff, that's what makes it entertaining is I like to do weird shit and I've done weird shit. So I'm going to be honest. And I think at the end of the day though, your kids really do love you for you and
Yeah.
they're going to accept you even if you're a fucking weirdo with a past.
No, yeah. I just like anything about them. I just don't
Yeah.
want them to like. But I am working on material for the last few years on like the dad life, but like it's just not as fun to talk about. But it's funny because it's like I've been doing comedy for 15 years, and I looked at some of my material I did 15 years ago. I was a kid at the time. I was in my late 20s, mid to late 20s. Now I'm maybe 43 on Saturday. So my whole like I don't know, but I still kind of gravitate towards my older material of me being younger. And I have to like kind of sway over being in my 40s now and do material about like my shitty knees or something like that. I don't know. More of a dad life kind of, s kind of vibe and not being 28 years old and getting fucked up.
Yeah.
So that's what
I
my
think
old
it's
material was.
a lot of us artists, I think, are young at heart. And
Hmm.
that's why we're good in these sections because we are a little bit immature. But it is like, okay, I'm older. I have more experience now. I can use that to go up to bat. But it is hard. I still sometimes think I'm 14 and I'm playing Donkey Kong on video games and at the skate
Yeah.
park. So it is hard for me to remember, like, oh, fuck, stuff, you're old. Okay,
Yeah.
I do have a question for you because you're a
Yeah.
comedian. I don't get a lot of comedians by is it's been a really controversial hot topic, the Saudi Arabia Comedy Festival and
Oh yeah.
comedians that took money and have in the past maybe said they wouldn't and whatnot. What is your feelings or your vibe about that whole situation?
Um, Money talks. I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
with all those guys and gals that accepted it, I thought that was pretty wild. First of all, Saudi Arabia. Why do you want to do comedy in Saudi Arabia? Um,
I'd be
there
scared. I'm not gonna
I
lie,
would be
I'd be
scared.
scared.
There was a lot of Jewish comics that
I'm a
went out there.
female too. Yeah,
I
female
know.
Jews. Like I'd be too scared, and I'm not a scaredy cat. I don't care what money's coming my way. I'd be like, am I going to be trapped as a sex slave? I don't know.
That's what everyone thought too. Like, what is this a setup to just
Yeah.
bring Western civilization comics out there and then they'll put them on hostage or whatever? So
Bill Burr really shocked me because of his stance in the past about being so open-minded and kind of going against the grain. But you're right. And you know what?
yeah,
If there's a price on everything, if someone paid me enough to show my butthole, I would. So I'm
money
not saying I'm better than anybody.
money talks. And for all those comics that said yes to it, yes, there's some of the top comics in the world, but at a time, not today. Bill Burr is not the top comic right now. All those
Yeah.
comics that did it are like all like they are on the top of the ladder, but they're slowly going down. If that kind of makes sense. So they're not like the top comic anymore. So they're all like
And Shane
looking for
Gillis said no.
work.
He's on fire right now.
Shane Gillis is on
Eh,
fire. He said
he
no.
said no. I don't who do you think is like the top comic? I'm
The
not as
top
familiar.
comic in the world right now. Did Russell Peters do it? Because he's like one of the
I
top
don't
comics
know.
still. I don't think he
I don't
did.
know. I know
So
Whitney Cummings did it. She just like who's been talking about that they just did it a lot. And then didn't Dave Chappelle?
Chappelle, but he's slowly kind of like his notches are kind of going down. Um, I mean, again, money talks. I mean, like if they're
Yeah.
going to get paid a lot of money, they'll fly out there and do it.
So
Jerry
would you do
Seinfeld
it
did it
if you
too, I
got
think.
offered enough money?
Um, Honestly, money talks, and I need to take care of my family. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's like, do I want to do it? I have to debate about it with my family. Hey, like I'm gonna go to Saudi Arabia to do comedy. I might not come back.
Yeah.
But if they give me some cash and I can wire it to you, then yeah, take care of my kid, make sure she
You
goes to
guys could
college.
live well where you're in the
So
Middle East as a sex slave.
yeah, I mean, like it's just I don't know. I mean, like with everything that goes on in this industry of Hollywood between music, movies and comedy and all that kind of stuff, at the end of the day, it's the paycheck. So,
Yeah.
which is kind of sad because that's where the art kind of blurs with everything. But with all those comics that went out there, honestly, I feel like all of them just kind of like they saw the price tags and they're like, fuck it. Like, let's do it. Let's go out there. And then they
No,
look at
I
the company
grasp
they're
it.
going with. I'm sorry?
I grasp it. I'm not
Yeah.
saying they're in the wrong for accepting money. I wish money was more important to me. I really do. When I talk to
Hmm.
people that have such incredible work ethic and they're a powerhouse for asking for money and wanting more money,
Yeah.
it's hard. I separate them. Like I've usually had the other job that pays the bills and then this creative outlet that's my fun. And I
Yeah.
usually don't go after money in the creative outlet, which I need to. Obviously, that's where you should, but I have a hard time doing that.
Same. Honestly, there's some of the shows I run where I don't get paid at all.
Yeah.
They will give me a couple free drinks, you know, and they'll give me the room for a couple hours, and I'm actually totally cool with that. I'm not
Yeah.
asking for anything, um, and that's like a few of my rooms actually. And there's one room I get paid pretty well, but the one that I get paid pretty well, I actually put a lot of time and energy, making sure that there's a good product for the venue, so they're not going to fire me. So, because at
Yeah.
the end, it's a job, and I'm trying to produce a good product for these owners of these venues. So, but that's how I see it. And then at the end of the day, again, it's work. Work is work. So you got to make money. But again, some of those cats make enough money. So like Jerry Seinfeld, I think he went out there, right? Yeah, he did
Yeah.
go out there. He's worth $1 billion. So I don't know about that. But
I
some of
wonder
those,
how
like,
much they're all paid different amounts. I know very high
I'm pretty
amounts,
sure.
but I wonder if it was more of a statement for Jerry at that point than just a paycheck.
I think it was a statement more than anything
Yeah.
for him. So
Yeah. I know
he's,
he's very unhappy with, the way things are going in America and whatnot. So I think some people it was the paycheck. Some people it was like a fuck you to the man. I'm going to do this, which is
yeah, especially with the American people right now and the divide of the woke and the MAGA, which is not a fun group to deal with when you're performing because they'll both attack you.
So that's been, yeah, I know. I bet that's got to be so difficult because since 2020, we've been more divided with COVID and political party disagreement. So
Yeah.
I almost so personally, to get this, I grew up in a heavily political family. My grandfather was a judge that was in politics. So I grew up with it down my throat and I talked about it on morning shows in the past. But with this podcast, I wanted it to be fun and an
Mhm.
escape. So I don't want to I'll joke about everyone. I will tease both sides and everybody, but I don't want to get into my take in politics because I think it's just become so a Debbie Downer
Oh yeah.
nowadays.
Oh, it's terrible. There was a performer last night at my show that he dived into politics, and everyone started booing in the bar because they didn't want to hear
Yeah.
it. It was the bars are technically like an escape too for people, so they can just
Hmm.
drink and watch games or whatever, and not talk about the bullshit that's going on outside. And that's the problem with some comics; they kind of bring that bullshit inside. And so last night, one of them wanted to talk about politics, and then they're just like, "No, we don't want to hear any of that shit." So
Yeah. No,
it's
I
it's
get it.
a it's a heavily like it's a Latino bar I produce one of my shows at, and so the guy wanted to talk about all the ICE raids and all that kind of stuff,
Oh
and I'm like,
no.
"Oh no, don't talk about that right now."
Read the room. Read the
Come
room,
on, dude,
buddy.
come on. So
Yeah. No,
yeah,
I get
I
that.
deal with that like every week. I deal with some comic that wants to talk about politics, and it never works out. So
No.
it's
Sex, drugs,
not.
rock and roll. Keep it at that. That's what
That's
I
what you
say.
want to talk about: just sex,
Yeah.
drugs, rock and roll,
Would
and
you
booze.
ever start, yeah, and booze. Would you ever start a podcast?
I used to be on a podcast, actually. I used to co-host a podcast for years until actually I got diagnosed, and then we stopped doing it. I've always been thinking about starting up my own podcast, doing like movie reviews or pulling out like a random DVD out of my collection and all that kind of stuff.
I thought you were
It's
just
just,
gonna say pulling out, just like how
oh
good you
no,
are
if
at
I
pulling
pulled out,
out.
I'll get canceled, and then my wife wouldn't like that either. Uh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
uh no, like I've always been thinking about doing a podcast, but I just don't have any time. I have no time right now. I
Yeah.
run a kitchen, I run all these shows, I have 5 kids. Like my time is these few hours I have during the day before the
Yeah.
kids come home. So
No, I feel you. I'm heading out at 1 in 20 minutes to start my school pickup for both of
damn,
them. So
see,
that
there you go. I understand. Like my daughter gets dropped off at 3, and that's where everything kind of goes downhill for me. So
yeah.
because
I
then
got
I'm
one
not
at 1
alone.
and one at 3 and then it's sports, and then I'm going into bartend. So, but I will post this. I'll sleep when I'm dead too. That's my vibe. Okay,
That's
I have one more question because I'm fascinated recently by potentially dating a comedian. And
mhm.
when I realized, oh, I've dated rock stars, they're very dark, they have a lot of depression and they're mysterious. I actually think comedians are darker. Why do you
Yes.
think a lot of comedy or comedians have such a dark side to them?
Comics are the rejects of the industry. We're the bottom of the totem pole of everything. The rock
That's
stars are
radio. No, we're called the redheaded
no,
stepchild. No?
no, radio is that's why comics kind of gravitate towards like podcasts and radio because again, with radio, you guys have a voice. You still have you have your own show. You can still be on the billboard and all that kind of stuff. Comics, you're scraping for anything for attention, and you won't get booked unless you go to enough open mics and all that kind of it's a whole system, and it's just again like you're dark because we're dark because of the ongoing rejection, the bombing on stage. For people to get on stage, they'll drink heavily so they can get that liquid courage, or they'll smoke a lot more weed, or they'll do coke, or whatever the case is. They kind of break the ice, and then they fall into their addictions and whatnot. Which I feel like with music is there's a band, and I don't know, you got 5 guys sometimes on stage together. They might have their addictions, but they all work together to make something. For a comic, you're alone. You're alone on stage. You're alone waiting in the bar or in the club. Um, you're writing down notes of jokes that you don't know if they're going to work or not. And you sometimes, as you go through this whole process of doing comedy, you might go through breakups with your loved ones or even your family, which I had a point where I just stopped talking to my family at one point.
Me
I mean,
too.
I just stopped talking. I don't know why. I felt bad because now I'm like, talking to my mom and dad all the time. And I'm talking to
Oh,
my brother
I
and
haven't
sister.
talked to my dad in 15 years and my mom in a year, and I love
Oh,
it.
shit.
I'm happy, I'll be honest,
Oh,
but
I reconnected with my family, especially
that's
after going
nice.
through chemo. But like
Yeah.
before that, I disconnected with them. I just didn't talk to them, and I was just living this like weird rock and roll life that wasn't really. But I felt like I needed that so I can channel all this dark energy to go on stage, and then But yeah, there's a lot of comics that are just miserable people because they want that fame, but they have to go through the process of just getting fucked up to go on
Yeah. Oh,
stage.
there's more addicts, obviously, and suicide and problems.
Oh,
And I think a lot
suicide.
of
Yeah.
people, yeah, there's just a lot of darkness in comedy. Obviously, if you got the light, you've got the dark, all together. But
Yeah.
it's always intrigued me that a lot of people don't know when comedians are on their off time, they've been some of the wilder, more drugs,
Oh
whatnot,
yeah.
intense times.
I mean, day drinking. I'll just say this. I mean, I used to, on my days off, I used to have like my Monday. I would run my show, my bar show in Van Nuys till 2 a.m. and I would throw down like 15, 16 beers. I would lose count how many beers and shots I was drinking that night. And then I have no idea how I got home. Someone would just drop me off. And then I'll wake up the next day and I'll walk down to the gas station and I'll buy an 18 pack of PBR and I'll crush that through the entire day. And then I had another show to run at a bar on Monday night. And then I'll drink all the way till 2 a.m. And then I'll
Yeah.
go to work the next day. How did I do that? Like, I just kind of goes right back to it in the beginning of the podcast here, but that was the life and the darkness I was living. And this is how I was writing my material. I was just day drinking an 18 pack of PBR and writing jokes because I felt like that
Yeah.
was my way of channeling my humor. And it did help. Yes. Was it bad? Yes. So
Fear and loathing in Las Vegas status,
it
like,
was, yeah, Fear and Loathing in San Fernando Valley. That's
yeah.
what it was.
Yeah, it happens. I've been that, I like my drinks. I used to love my drugs. Fell back off this summer for a couple days on a bender.
Mhm.
It just does. I'm not gonna bullshit and say it's something that I'm completely clear of, and I've never tried sobriety. I mean, except for pregnancies, but I enjoy kind of thinking outside the box and sometimes going on a trip and either if it's mushrooms or just a lot of weed and alcohol together. But I kind of love the madness that comes from a little bit of a bender.
Oh
And then
yeah.
coming back to reality though and being like, "Oh fuck, okay, I got to get my shit together. I got my
Yeah.
kids back cuz I share custody." And
Mhm.
so it's never when I have them, but when they're gone, I need them all the time. They're so good for me. I'm like, "Oh, it's time to get fucked up."
Yeah,
It's just not
that's
good.
like with ever since I had my kid, just my kid, I had the 4-step, but my kid, I was like, "Oh, well, you know what? No more day drinking." So,
Yeah.
because she got pregnant during COVID, and that's where I was drinking a little heavier. Um,
Everyone was.
oh my god, it was
Everyone
bad.
was.
I was buying
I ordered
3.
strippers to my house to perform for me and my neighbors while we were drinking in the day,
Oh,
like
that
during
sounds fun.
COVID. It
There
was,
you
yeah, I
go.
built a bar in my garage and I paid girls to perform. And I would look back, I'm like, what was I thinking? I was 19, 20 again, making it rain on hot bitches and drinking all day. I didn't handle the stress well. I really just checked out.
Nice. Well, that was me. I was drinking like 12 packs of beer, like just watching movies all day because I wasn't working as well and my wife wasn't working. And then I'm like, okay. And so after she gave birth to our daughter, I was like, okay, well, I'm done day drinking right now. So
Yeah.
there's nothing weirder than having a few beers around the house and then having my little kid, crawl around. I mean, one of our first, sadly, our first photo shoots with her, was Halloween because she was born the 15th, and then Halloween was like literally 15 days later. And I put a little PBR Pabst Blue Ribbon hat and a little can next to her as her costume. And my wife didn't mind so much, but then I posted on social media and she's like, you shouldn't have done that. I'm like, no, I should not have done that. So I have grown up a lot since my kid has been born.
Yeah, they really do mature us in the best ways. And Big
Yes,
Lebowski vibes is what you're kind of given. I dig it.
that's what I am pretty much. Or
Yeah,
they call me the Valley Jesus. So that's what they actually call me out here.
the Valley Jesus. I saw
Yeah.
that. Well, dude, thank you, Ryan, so
Thank
much for
you.
taking time out of your day and stopping by Steph's Rock Show. I had an absolute blast. Plug anything you want to plug so people can find you and check it all out.
You can find me on Instagram. I just look up Ryan Talmo pretty much on Instagram. I'm pretty much the only Talmo out there that's named Ryan. And if you live in the Valley, I run like 5 shows in the San Fernando Valley. So you can find me at the Liquid Zoo. You can find me at the Scene. You can find me at Maui Sugar Mill Saloon, Corbin Bowl, and the Oaks Tavern.
Awesome.
So
Thanks so
those are the.
much.
Thank you.
Have a good birthday weekend.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thanks for bringing me on.